You guys are making it way too easy for Donald Trump. So I don't know if you've been keeping up with the press conferences that the White House has been holding pretty much every day, right? They're addressing what's going on with coronavirus, where we are numbers-wise, how things are going in the country, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, that's not the best part of these conferences, right? The best part of these conferences is when Trump opens it up to questions. And he has been absolutely destroying folk lately. Like, it's not even... I'm laughing, but I'm really crying inside because of how sad it has been. Like, these reporters are complete idiots. They're so dumb. And especially from yesterday. Okay, check this out. Okay, there's 3 reporters that I want to touch on specifically. The first one, let's see, Kristen Fisher from Fox News. Fox, right? Fox is usually a Trump-friendly news network. And Kristen Fisher, she gets destroyed by Trump. I mean, now granted, it's not really Trump's fault because she's a reporter, so she should know what she's talking about. But she clearly doesn't. She brings up the fact that in a report from the Inspector General from the Department of Health, there was a report that 300 hospitals claimed that they were short on COVID-19 tests. They didn't have enough tests. And Trump said, no, it's not. No, that's not true. That's not true. Right away, he stops her.
Despite the nearly 1.8 million tests that you say the United States has done, the Inspector General for the Department of Health and Human Services released a report today, a survey of more than 300 hospitals across the country. And the number one complaint from those hospitals were severe shortages of testing supplies and a really long wait time. I mean, a week or longer.
And did I hear the word Inspector General? Really? It's wrong.
And that's not even the best part, right? Right away he says, no, that's not true. That's not true. And then he asks her, well, what's his name? What's the name of the Inspector General?
Well, where did he come from, the Inspector General? What's his name?
It came from the Inspector
No,
General
what's his
report.
name?
I
What's his
don't
name?
know his name
Well,
off the top
tell
of
me
my
his name.
head.
Let me know, okay?
Bro, how embarrassing is that? Like, you're a reporter from an established news network, Fox, and you don't even know the name of the person for the report that you're giving. How embarrassing is that? Like, she looked so destroyed, so embarrassed. It was that moment was just pure joy, pure revenge for such a stupid question. oh, you thought that was it? No, that's not it. And then it just so happens that this report that she's referencing, because Trump moved on, and then he went back to her, and she again asked the same question again. Like, okay, get over it. Now, what we find out is that the report is old. It's not even an accurate report. It was a report from when things were starting to take off. Are you kidding me?
I know you don't want to talk about the Inspector General report, but testing is still a big issue in this country. When can hospitals expect?
Put the slide up again, please.
When can hospitals?
As the president said, 1.79 million tests have been done, and this does not count the hundreds of thousands of tests that are done within hospitals that are now currently not reporting, so I'm sure we're well over 2 million. That Inspector General report was done here, 23rd, 24th, during our ramp-up period, quite a long time ago. There was clearly, and it's hard to interpret the report because it mixes up all kinds of things, but clearly there was complaints by some hospitals of a backlog, probably at send-out tests, and that is true. There were several days of backlog at some of the major labs that have been taken care of.
She deserves every bit of destruction that President Trump is delivering to her. I mean, your report, that's your job. First of all, know your facts, know your sources, pay attention to dates. Are you kidding me? And then we move on, okay? There's another reporter. She wants to talk about the Paycheck Prevention Program. And she starts off immediately by saying, this Paycheck Prevention Program has had a really rocky start. And Trump's like, no, it's not. Again, right off the bat. No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Paycheck Protection Program has gotten off to a confusing start for small
I don't
businesses
think so. I think it's done very well.
Wells Fargo.
So she said, well, there's problems, and, how are we going to overcome these problems, this and that? And Trump stops her, and he just completely lays out what is wrong with the media this day. in just like completely understandable, like obvious talk, obvious terms. He says, I really wish you guys would just say things more optimistically.
Bank of America has been the leader, taking tremendous numbers of applications. And of course, there may have been, they wanted to have a slightly different application. They wanted to have a little different information. But Bank of America has been a leader. They're number one in terms of applications. I wish you'd ask the question differently. Why don't you say it's gotten off to a tremendous start, but there are some little glitches, which, by the way, have been worked out. It would be so much nicer if you do that. But you're just incapable of asking a question in a positive way.
And Trump is absolutely right. Why does the media's first reaction always have to be doom and gloom, right? The scare tactic, that's what sells. I mean, we know why. We know why. But especially right now, in a pandemic, why? Why are you doing that? And people are hating on Trump hardcore because he's always being optimistic. Even though he may be off base a little bit, I agree with that. But at least he's trying to be optimistic and he's not all doom and gloom. Right? It's not that he's not serious about the situation. It's just that we don't always have to put such a negative spin on everything. Why do we have to do that? Why does the media, all the media, have to be so negative all the time? Why? So he's just like, why can't we just be fair? Why can't we just have fair news? Right? Why does the media always have to be so unfair? And then he says, he gets ready to call the next reporter and says, speaking of unfair, here we go. Go ahead.
It's just, I wish we had a fair media in this country, and we really don't. Speaking of unfair, go ahead.
I'm gonna skip that next reporter he's referring to. That doesn't even matter to me. Okay, we're gonna move on to the last reporter that I want to talk about. So, this person, right, this lady, begins saying, China has been working with you and Alibaba and donating masks and gloves and things like that. And President Trump is, he's not a dumb guy. Everybody thinks he's so stupid, right? Thinks he's so dumb, but he's extremely intelligent. And if nothing else, right, he definitely knows how to debate, and he's quick on his feet. Because he responds immediately before she's even finished. This sounds more like a statement than a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Only last week, there were multiple flights coming from China full of medical supplies.
Yes.
Companies like Huawei and Alibaba has been donating to the United States
People I know very well.
1.5 million and 95 masks, and also a lot of medical gloves and much more medical supplies.
Sounds like a statement more than a question.
And then, because it's kind of obvious at this point, he says, Who are you with? Who are you reporting for? Are you from China? Are you reporting from China? She's like, no, we're Phoenix TV. We're a privately held company. He's like, oh, okay.
Who are you working for, China? You work for China, or are you with a newspaper? Who are you with?
Hong Kong Phoenix TV.
Who owns that, China?
Is
it owned by
based in
China?
Hong Kong.
No, is it owned by the state?
No, it's not. It's a private owned company.
Okay, good.
Well, come to find out, if you do a simple Google search, Phoenix TV, yes, it's a privately held company, but the majority of the company is held by, you guessed it, the Chinese government. The Chinese government. We have a reporter from the Chinese government questioning the President of the United States. How does that even make sense? How did she get in there? How did nobody vet her? Or even, she is spreading propaganda for China in this press conference to the President of the United States. How did she get in there? And you know what's more upsetting about this? I'm going to be honest with you. When I Googled it, right, because I try to do my research to understand what's going on. When I Googled this, the Phoenix TV, I was completely blown away because the first article that popped up was the New York Post. And they said, GOP concerned that Chinese reporter is spreading propaganda in news conference. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, the GOP is the only one concerned about that? Well, it makes sense because the GOP is the only one that actually cares about the United States, right? The Democrats want to see its downfall and destruction. Obviously, Nancy Pelosi, she is the devil in woman form. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think. This whole thing is just, it's hilarious. It's gonna continue as well because it's every single day. And Trump is destroying people every single day. And I love it. And I get up in the morning looking forward to knowing that I'm gonna be able to see highlights from yesterday's news conference and there's gonna be some Trump destruction in there, and it's great. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, which reporter do you think was the most embarrassing in this news conference? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. As always, those are my thoughts exactly. Catch you next time. Bye. She is the devil in woman form.